All right. Hello, Fit for Life community and all our friends watching today. Let's see. All right, we are live. I say this every time I bring a guest on, but it really is a treat today. So, I can't wait for you guys to meet Mariah. I'm going to let Mariah introduce herself here in a minute, but I just have to say that I met Mariah. When did we meet? Like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I've worked one-on-one with Mariah, and she truly has changed my life. And she has helped me to see myself closer to the way that heaven sees me. And I really know that she's going to instill that on all of you guys today. So we have lots of fun things to talk about. The title of this is creating priorities out of a place of play. And so we're going to talk about that today when it comes to health priorities. But Mariah, would you just start by telling us a little bit about you and the things that you love in life and whatever's on your heart?
Well, so my name is Mariah Jean. I've been in this online space community for several years now, and I've been in it in various capacities: coach, teacher, consultant, leader, mostly student though, not gonna lie. Like most of this is like, I get to learn from you guys. And so one of the things I love most in life is this is a Fit Moms community, right? I'm a mom. I love family. I love my people. I'm the oldest of 10 kids. So I got an early start on what that is. And through like some crazy backstory, the journey my family and I have been through, I lost relationship with them for 13 years, and God did a miraculous turnaround. So I now have relationship restored with all of my siblings. My dad and I are super close. And so I look at that and the journey God took me on to become who I am today through that. But he gave me this massive heart for family and for his people. And so everything I do now is literally because I want to show up and either show my daughters how to live. Like there's a line from a Jewel song. She's like, I want to become the kind of woman I would want my daughter to be. And that always stuck with me. And it was like, how do I show my girls how to live as like a vibrant woman of God and own everything that they are? And it was the backstory with my siblings where I was like, I had to start with them first and I had to do it. And now like where God's brought us is so beyond amazing. And I get to watch each one of them like live a life that was unthinkable 15, 20 years ago. And so now when I even think about the people in your community here, I'm like, I get nerdy wanting to like know each one of your hearts and like, what has God planted in you? Like, what has God put you here to do? And like, how can we help you bring that out? Because there's things heaven planted in you before the foundation of time, all these good works that you should walk in them, and run with them. So like, you're literally a portion of God's dream on earth. And I want to know God's dream in you. I want to know how he fashioned you and like get you out there living you as you were meant to be in heaven on earth. Cause that's what Jesus did. He won that right for us to do that and saved us from everything that separates us from that. So I get passionate about those things, Kelsey. So that's my long answer to your short question.
Love it. And I love how you said something about how you help your daughters and you help your community, your coaching community to own everything. Like there's this place of like understanding the call, but also owning it. And that's what we do here too, right? Like we own that we have work to do in the physical, we have work to do in the spiritual, and there's like a call to step into that. Right?
Well, yeah. And it's like, I do take a lot from, we're all moms here. I take a lot. My oldest is 17 and she's working and she's driving and she, she's literally running her own life. And so I kind of call it her like free trial period of adulthood. And I remember when I came up behind her driving the first time and I'm like, I made that. Like, she's really cool. She's literally one of the coolest people I know on earth. And I'm like, man, I got to participate in making that. And I get to look at the fact that like, I relish that because I think we all feel that as our kids get older, right? When your baby had just been born, your third had just been born, we were working together, I got to watch him grow up over a series of months. And that was just so sweet. And so to get to watch people grow is one of my favorite things, but I've had to be really honest about my trajectory, right? Because where I come from, like knowing the calling and that it was because I knew Holy Spirit, knowing the call, what he was calling me to and hearing it but then feeling that differential of like, wait, here's what you're saying about who I am and how you want me to partner with you, but I feel like I'm this on earth. And it was like that differential of like, and a lot of it was lies, right? A lot of it was like things I was told that simply weren't true. So it was like generational stuff. It was like over, emotional abuse. It was these things that I had to be like, here's what God says, and here's what man's saying. I believe what God says. And so I've literally made a career of believing him and believing this is who you say I am. So guys, I'm going to be full up, straight up, like honest just about my process. Like there's still the part of me I could revert to, like that old man that I could try to bring back to life and be like, okay, I'm just this small little whatever. And I can have that if that's what I want. God's like, you can have that if that's what you're going to settle for. But he's like, but I'm telling you, this is who you are to me. So are you going to believe me and grow up into the fullness of the stature of Christ? And so I have to start like putting on like, okay, who do you say I am? And that changes the game. And then I show up different. And so I'm just being real. Like that's how I've had to do that this morning. Like, even as I get on here to like share, like, wait, who am I with you? Like, I'm just keeping it 100. And so it's very real and present for me, but the fruit of what he's brought me through, I can't deny anymore. And he always brings it back to like my love for my brothers and sisters and getting to be at this real with my daughters. And I'm like, oh, this is what we do. We grow up into the fullness of his family, because that's all he's wanted from the beginning of time. He's like, I want a family in my image who'll go to work with me, and that's it. And that's why I'm here today. So
yeah, love that. There's so much depth. I mean, we could talk for hours, right? But so if you had to like simplify it, what do you wish that everyone in this community can understand, like when it comes to who they were created to be? Because that's really your thing, right?
What I wish you, okay. It's accessible. It's accessible to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Like what Jesus won for us was salvation from staying where we were stuck. Right. And I know a lot of us like here, this is a health community. I've had my own health challenges. I mean, shoot, I was like laid up yesterday with my own health challenges that I was like, oh, okay. So I need to process this and I need to like do the physical things that support this and weed out. Cause I know you deal with the layers, right? The lies that got us in that situation. So I'm like, okay, dealing with the lies that, got me here in this situation. And once I pulled that weed, I literally immediately felt physical changes in my body. And then I had to back it up with the physical care. And so I think what I would want to know is accessible is that you deal with all those layers. I start with the spiritual and like be transformed there and then bring it down. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. You can believe him. Like I just talked about that differential from like where I felt like I was as an awkward 13-year-old to like where God's called me to be. That differential is a journey. You don't have to have it all figured out today, but you have the one thing in front of you. And sometimes that one thing is like giving our kids a snack and doing it with like play and fun and joy instead of like drudgery or like we're being annoyed at the way they're asking or like, being condemning at the way they're asking for the blue bowl instead of the pink one, like, and being like, oh, okay, you have a preference. Like, let's acknowledge your preference and that's okay. And then taking that like and applying it to ourselves too, because we're reparenting ourselves with God and weeding out those lies and putting in whole identity. So taking it from those big pictures and then breaking it down into like you do with like real food, right? Like you break it down to real food and then break it down into recipes and then break it down into meal plans and break it down into like what actually feels good and right and healthy for my family and my life and in my body today and what's accessible, and just reaching for the one thing that's accessible and begin those small transformations. They add up over time. And just like we watch our kids grow from little tiny and they grow up over time, and it happens overnight and it happens, the years feel like, days and all of it. So, motherhood is a really great intro into this whole journey.
For sure. Well, and I think that word accessible, like so many women I talk to when they think about their ability to actually lose weight and to live in fullness and abundance and energy and confidence, like they don't believe that that is accessible. And what we believe is that it's part of our birthright, right? Like we are designed to be healthy humans. And so taking it one step at a time in a way where you're able to also like break off the lies, like you said, is the way to do it. Like you can't just jump right into doing all the things and expect it to stick, right? There has to be healing.
Yes. And so doing the one thing that is like, what small thing would make a lot of transformation right now? Right. And just like that one example of like, what if I give my kids a snack with like this idea of fun, and that life is meant, this is literally our birthright, to have fun and play and hope and joy in this. And like, it's what grapes I wanted, cheese, goldfish, right? It's like, oh, and then I don't know, jump off on like, look at the grape, look how you hold it up to light and you can see through it, and just come at it from a whole different vantage point of like the blessings in this little moment, and like letting those add up. Like, you guys, I love talking at like, you heard me talk about God's dreams for us and go big. And like, I think we almost don't have a choice on the earth today with like what's happening to believe him for his big dreams and to go big, but also the small moments of like daily life and those daily gifts, those add up to that. And I feel like as moms, we just have that moment of like, okay, I'm here to do a big thing, raise up these humans, and I'm here to be a whole healthy person as I do it. And that feels impossible, but we do it one moment and one day at a time. And so there's those idioms of like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you move a mountain? You can actually say, Jesus said, so I believe him, that we can say it and it can be moved. I do believe that's possible. Sometimes we do that. And sometimes he says, here's a spoon, here's a shovel, start doing it. One shovel, one spoonful at a time. Yeah. And I've had to do that. I know we're all having to do that in different ways. So getting clear on like, what do I have within reach today? Right? That's the only place we ever can be, is this moment. So I think we're all in a perfect place to get started from this place.
Yeah. And you mentioned going through those things one step at a time with that mindset of play, which we're going to talk about a little bit more here in a minute. But can you also touch on, just from the work that you do, the importance of how health ties into walking into that fullness of identity?
Ooh, okay. This has been a big one for me because my health has been challenged my whole life. And so what I've realized is it's legitimate. Our body is one of the biggest battlegrounds it just is. Jesus knew it. We've seen it on the earth in the last few years. Like Jesus was like, you need to be healed. Do you want to be healed? So it starts with wanting it. And I'm going to be the first to say there's been years where I was like, you know what? It's actually kind of convenient to own this illness or own this issue. And I'm just going to like sit here because it opts me out of the discomfort of whatever it is. Then there's a point of like realizing, okay, I've dug my heels in here and I've made it harder on myself than I needed to be. And I have to get real about this now. And that is the hardest step. And so I feel for those of us who are at that moment, wherever we're at that moment, because it's like, okay, how I get out of that moment is remembering the story he's speaking over me. Remembering my identity, what I feel like who I am in this moment is not actually who I am. Who am I to him? Who is he saying I am? And I'm going to start living that story now, even in this moment where it feels hard and heavy. And like, why didn't I start before now? Yeah. And so I forget the question you asked. I remember I was trying to land it and keep it to like what you said. What was it
about? Like how health plays into our ability to walk in fullness of identity.
Our bodies are the temple of Holy Spirit. Our bodies are the place he wants to live. Like all of us, he can live anywhere, right? We could live in any house, but do we want to? Do we operate at our fullness at that place? And there are seasons, guys, where we have to do what we have to do. Right. And then there's seasons where it's like, I need to tighten this ship so I can remember the clarity that comes through it this season. Like, so I've had seasons where I've had to detox. I've had seasons where I've had to have hardcore regimens. I've had seasons where it's like, okay, now I can move into intuitive eating. I've never had a season where I couldn't prioritize my health. It may have looked different. I literally have to start my day prioritizing my physical health before anything else. If I don't have physical health to actually like sit and pray with God and be with him, or like move on to the action he's asking me to do, what am I giving him? So we're the vessel. Our bodies are the vessel with which we are a living sacrifice. We literally live and sacrifice every day in this vessel. And so that intersection is huge, and it's beyond the scope of what we get to explore here. But I know I'm being invited to like, what does it look like to take care for our bodies holistically and preventatively, and starting with literally the things that God made for us to eat first, like is your priority, is an amazing place to start. It's one of the hugest. So I'm so grateful you do what you do, because we all need it, all of us.
Yeah, it's so, when we talk about restoring, like bringing the kingdom to earth, and just the idea of like, if we could all get to the place of, to the very best of our ability, restore the body. Obviously, like with sin entering the world, it's never going to be perfect. But if we all made that effort to do that, like imagine how much more we could receive from the Spirit to do the work, and then step into fullness. It's just like a beautiful cycle of, if we can make that shift, to get there.
What I think of when you say that, Kelsey, is like, if Jesus is, he's the OG, he's the original, right? Of what it is to be fully human in a human body and be fully divine. And as you were talking, it's like, man, he was transfigured. Like his body was transfigured with like the presence of God in him. Like that's our birthright. And he had like, how many years of obedience leading up to that moment? Right? How many years of doing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing that just led him to like, I can house these moments, right? I can have this overshadow of heaven on this earthly vessel. And like, that's our birthright. That is who we are. And it may feel like, because I know eating the same thing day in, day out, or like having to prioritize health or meal planning or whatever it is, it may feel like not the thing at the moment. But I think Jesus felt that at moments where he's like, but that's what led him, whether it was like working with his dad until his dad died, and then running the family business with his brothers until he was called out into ministry. Like he had daily dues that he did for years that we don't even know about. And then even how he showed up bringing the kingdom in his ministry to show us what that was like, that portion of the leg of the journey is like. So I don't know. I get excited being like, oh my gosh, what can our bodies do? Like they can be transfigured. Like, I don't know what that looks or feels like, but I want to find out, because if Jesus did it, and then there's the power of the resurrection, which is a whole other thing. So we could do that another time, but
yeah. And I think, one thing just of what you mentioned that I think a lot of us have to work on breaking through, is you said it's sometimes easier to basically hold on to that false identity. And a lot of times when I talk to clients, they say they're afraid of failure, but actually they're afraid of succeeding. Like they're afraid of the things that they'll have to change or get uncomfortable about. But that mindset shift of, yeah, it may be uncomfortable, but the benefits of walking in abundance, it's so worth it. Right. And so that mindset shift, I think, is really, really key that you spoke to.
Because it's universal. Like it's universal. I'm having to face that shift over and over again every day in some facet of my life or another. And here's what I really want to make sure we get grounded in is forgiving ourselves for not doing it before now. I really think there were seasons we literally couldn't. I think we need to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. If God's told you otherwise, then I'm not here to like overwrite that. What I'm here to say, what if we have been doing the absolute best we could in the seasons that we've been in, and we literally couldn't make that shift until this moment? We couldn't even been strong enough to conceive that we could have this identity shift of even being able to entertain who God says we are until this moment. I do this. I'm doing this with people all over, the people I'm working with, like, and I have to walk myself through it every day. And like the next thing he's asking me to believe. And when people give you prophetic words or whatever it is, it's like, God has bigger dreams. He says, dream bigger. Like he's not kidding. Like I receive so many of those. I'm like, I'm dreaming as big as I can. And like, then God comes and blows it out of the water and like takes it to a whole other level. And I'm like, it's on me to just begin to manifest it in this moment and just be obedient in this little thing of like, okay, this feels like a boulder, but I know in heaven, this is a pebble to you. This is nothing. And I just have to believe you that you as my dad can help me lift it and get through this moment of this story shift, because we're all living stories. And so I would be like, what story makes it feel fun and easy, right? We get to watch this on our kids all day long. Like they live and imagine stories. And they're flying through life like it's no big deal, because it's not. And our Father in heaven is like, I want to live stories with you. Let's have fun. Let's play. Let's do this. And that's how we literally do the impossible, because with God, nothing is impossible. So
Yeah.
Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Give yourself like, hey, I couldn't do this before. Now, what does this play look like? And guys, I'm the Lord gave me like a vision of like, I need you to imagine like you're finger painting with me. And I'm like, that is an insult to my intelligence. That is to my pride, but you're telling me to be here. So I believe you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Figure out what it looks like.
And that's a perfect segue into what we are creating next week and what Mariah is helping us with in our Fit Moms community. So I'll kind of tell you guys about it. And then Mariah, you can share a little bit more about the vision, but in Fit Moms Academy 2.0. So this is our high level one-on-one group coaching for kingdom minded weight loss. We have occasional guest speakers that come in. And if you're in 2.0, you get free access to all of this. We are opening this workshop up because it's going to be amazing to all of you. It's called our Priorities Play Shop. And Mariah's going to tell us a little bit more about the inspiration there. But if you're in Fit Moms 1.0, make sure that you check in the community group. It'll have a coupon code. So all of our 1.0 members get discounts on all upgrades. And then if you aren't in any of our communities and you just want to check it out, it's just $47 to hang out with us for the night. I promise you guys, it's going to be worth your time. It's going to help you on the practical of getting things into alignment with what your health goals and your life goals are, but it's also going to give you a lot of insight into why we're doing this. And so Mariah, tell us a little bit more about what you see next week.
Yeah. So, I mean, guys, I pray over it. Like I have a lot of things I could draw on, right? The Lord's taken me through a lot of stuff. There's a lot of modalities, whatever, but I always have to ask him, what is your heart for like this person? Because he knows your heart. I don't get to know all of it yet, but I look forward to seeing you and meeting you and get to hear more of it. But I was asking him and he just dropped in my head as being in the shower, like most of us moms do, like our best thinking comes in the shower, right? And he just said priorities play shop, like instead of workshop. And guys, I love to work. I think it's honestly in scripture, the coolest thing when God's mind of what work is, but we need to play. We need to remember what it's like to feel playful and fun, especially as women. Honestly, I feel like how many of us know, like our men love it when we're playful and fun, right? Like we feel more ourselves when we're playful and fun. And I can get serious with the best of them, but getting tapped back into that creative space and flow is literally, I mean, God was, he was having fun when he was creating the earth, when he was getting his own projects going, his endeavors moving. And so tapping back into that, I think is what he was like narrowing the focus on. And so when I was praying last night into like, okay, what's your like, where do you want to bring it on? He's like, you guys, how many of us have daughters or sons and we watch them dress up? They put on their costume and like when their boys are 4 and they're put on that Spider-Man costume, they're like in it, right? And when our girls are in their princess dresses, and my girls lived in their princess dresses for days and on end, like when they were that age, they become a different person. This is literally how God wired us. And this is why Jesus used story throughout his entire ministry, is because when we put on that story and we begin living it, we can actually, it taps into his wiring of how he created us as children to like begin imagining it and playing it. And so we're going to do that because I think when we do have so much responsibility, especially when we're caring for young little lives that depend on us for everything, we can forget that person is in us. And there's, I'm seeing it more and more in our culture of like, hey, when I just pretended, I saw on Kelsey, like I saw this, there's a TikTok going around of like a mom cleaning up her kitchen night. She's like, when I just pretended I was a tavern wench closing down my business at night, it just changed everything. And there was all these people going like, I tried it and it blew my mind. Like, yes, like, so I think we get to like ask God, like, what dreams have you been dreaming for me that I get to play dress you in? And scripture is so full of this because it's like, put on the armor, put on this mantle, put on, Revelation is like, I have a white linen over like clothing for you. When we put these things on, it changes our psychology. And so, it's just, I'm being real, but it's how God has taken me and my identity from glory to glory to glory of just like these incremental. I don't know about if anyone here is readers, but you read chapter books as a kid or as a third grader and you're like, you just move through one chapter at a time. So we're just going to begin dreaming these stories. And what does it look like to live them? One chapter at a time, one meal at a time. So that's the direction we're going to go. We're going to bring in some very realistic real world frameworks. Literally, I got a notice this morning, one of my top favorite performance coaches, he was like, if you want to make traction, ask yourself these questions. And I'm like, these are literally the questions we already have ready to go for this play shop. So I'm like, okay, confirmation that we're on the right track here. And so it's going to be fun.
Yeah. I love that we're taking it from that mindset of play, because again, we have so many expectations on ourselves as moms, and we think we have to get it all figured out. But when you know who your father is and you just live in surrender, you can live in that mindset of play. And so that's what we're going to be instilling on a practical level, but then also on the spiritual level. So
It'll be good.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll make sure to drop links. Now that you guys have all met Mariah and you're in love, then you'll definitely want to join us, because it's going to be this and so much more. And if you're already in, like I said, if you're in Fit Moms 1.0, make sure that you wait to get your coupon code to join us at a discounted price. And if you're not, you should really join us. But if you just want a taste of what it's like to be on our weekly group calls, or just get a feel for this kingdom-minded community, then just make sure you sign up. It's just $47, and it will definitely change a lot of things in your priorities mindset. So
good.
Well, thanks for hanging out. Oh, Mariah, where can people find you online?
Social media. I mean, Mariah Jean, search for me on Facebook, and Instagram, it's mariah.jean. And yeah, those are the main places you can find me right now. Working on expanding and being present. And guys, you get to watch me be real time. Kelsey's had a front row seat to me just taking imperfect action and showing up and be like, I'm gonna believe God for his crazy dreams. And so, yeah, come join me, start following me now, and you guys can be in on learning what it looks like to get a front row seat to what it looks like to show up and get brain fog, is like you're staring the giant in the face and be like, oh yeah, God said this is no big deal. Chop off its head. And that's how we do. So
yeah, for sure. What did someone say? You're a mix of Tupac and something. What did somebody say?
Like there's a million memes out there, right? Like I'm Mother Teresa and Tupac in the same. Like
it's awesome. Love it. Awesome. Well, I'll see you on Tuesday, and we'll make sure to drop links for how you guys can all join us. Thanks for hanging out today.
Good to see you, Kelsey. Thanks. And bye guys.
Bye.
See you.